Welcome to the Cobbcast, where we uncover the truth, ignite your mindset, and explore the realms of health, wealth, and conscious living. Join me in exploring the hidden secrets of the world, unraveling the mysteries of cryptocurrency, and also cultivating a mindset for financial health. I'm your host, Chris O'Brien, reminding you that when in doubt, it's time to zoom out and see the bigger picture. So get ready for an uplifting experience to help you come out better. Welcome back, everybody, to the Cobbcast. I'm your host, Chris O'Brien, episode 13. Wow, episode 13. Okay, here we are. Well, first of all, thank you for all the support. If you've been tapping in, listening to these episodes, sharing this on your profile or your platforms, it really means a lot. Many of you have asked me for years, hundreds of you have asked me for years to put a podcast together and just to share more of my thoughts and how I perceive the world and things about my life I've gone through and have come out better from. And that's what this Cobbcast is all about. So we've covered a lot of different topics and we still have yet to scratch the surface of the things I want to share with the world and with you here today. So I'm excited for this episode, mainly because it is more predicated and focused on things that you can implement in your life today. Now, the last episode, episode 12, was part 2 of crypto, and part 1 was on episode 10. Episode 11, we touched on the illusion of choice with the elections and Trump coming back and my thoughts around all that happening there. But today is going to be a little different and also similar. Today is really going to focus and emphasize on the beautiful opportunity of entrepreneurship, the beautiful opportunity of owning your own business, living life on your terms, creating your own reality, living the dream, time freedom, financial freedom, all these fluff words that tend to be tossed around, that tend to be repeated or used, yet how many of us are actually living it? And how many of us know how to live it? How do we create this life where we may not have to report to a boss or worry about bills or feel like we're behind in our debts and trying to get ahead instead of living paycheck to paycheck? So that's what I want to cover here today and really give you some insight on a bunch of different topics, from my story, limiting beliefs I overcame, seeing a bigger vision of entrepreneurship, what it means to you, how you can start tapping into this creative side. It doesn't have to be all in, doesn't have to be all at once, it doesn't have to be overnight. But over time, I think a lot of us are waking up and realizing that there's so much more to life than a paycheck or a 9-to-5 job or a work commute or a holiday office party. And there's nothing wrong with being an employee, by the way. If you go to the last episode, we talked about the cash flow quadrant, which I will touch on again here. There are tremendous pros and cons with everything that we do in life. And we're also going to zoom out and look at some financial issues again that people may be facing. And if you're listening to this, what can you do about them? And then I'm going to dive in and start to introduce something called direct sales, network marketing. Many of you have heard these topics and these concepts before, but what about the small little bits of details? What about the negative connotations? What about the potentials? What about the logistics and the statistics and also the emotionals behind it? And then talking about high ticket direct sales, which is one of my number one cash flow methods, which has allowed me to invest in various assets that are growing more than anything I've ever invested in. So always interconnected and mixed. And then I'm going to share with you guys too a book here called The Next Millionaires by Paul Pilzer. It's just about where the next 10 years is going to go and how people in direct sales and health and wellness are positioning themselves to be really the pioneers of the world that is being manifested right before our eyes. So we're going to talk about the internet gap, the tech gap, social media, and also like the next mega trend and something that you right now, no matter where you're at, no matter what your background, your resume, your skills, your expertise, or what you know about this or that, regardless of any of that, you can still take and be a part of something that millions are doing today, things that I coach people in. We have thousands of people in our community doing it, tens of thousands of people all over the world, and it's something you can do as well. So get comfortable, drop on in with me. Let's dive into it and pray, as always, that this helps you truly come out better. Reminder to like, share, subscribe, post this on your channels, share this, leave a comment, give some good stuff. Because without you guys, no one hears this episode. So you guys are just as valuable to this Cobbcast as I am sharing it, because you, me, we, the people, that's where the future holds for humanity and so forth. So with that said, let's first dive in a little bit about my story, because sometimes I forget how many people really don't know everything about me. You don't even know what I came out better from. You see come out better, you see what I've I'm creating today and the things that light me up and the truth that I share and the corruption that I expose and all that stuff. But where did this all start? There had to be a time where Chris was asleep. There had to be a time where Chris really maybe didn't believe in himself, or that Chris was an employee, not an entrepreneur or business owner. When Chris was, more in his head and overthinking things, when Chris was in poor health or a financial position, when Chris has been scammed, or Chris has lost a lot of money or have had a heartbreak, where Chris had thought about giving up on many times in life, as deep as that, dark as that may sound, but just points in my life where I just didn't see light at the end of the tunnel. I didn't see that the best was yet to come. I just thought the worst was going to happen more and more. And so all of these things actually tied into this inner reflection for myself, this inner awareness I had about who I am, what I'm here to do, my purpose, my passion, my skills, my gifts, my human design. Make sure you go check out that episode earlier in this whole series, and just how I can be the best version of myself. Because here's the thing, on paper today, get this, here's a guy, John Doe, Chris O'Brien, no job, no kids, no wife, no pets, no resume. I haven't been employed in almost 10 years. I live at home, work from home, not at my parents' house, my own home. I do what I want when I want. I have no debts. I have no car payments. I have no mortgages. I have no outstanding credit cards. I've got a damn near perfect credit score. And I'm not your typical 35 going on 36-year-old. Most people my age have kids, have a wife, have a job, maybe some type of debt, have some mortgages they're paying, probably have a dog, probably have a white picket fence, and probably have some resume or some job that's paying them. And that's not me. And I'm not here to say I'm never going to do those things. I do want a family one day. I do want a wife one day. I do want to have a dog one day. I do. I don't know if I want to have a job. I don't know if I want to have a resume. But I also know that we only get this one shot at life. And the moment you pass away, for a few weeks, they'll be grieving. But over time, more and more people will either forget about you or remember you. And the memory is just a mere thought. It's a mere flashback. It's a video. It's a photo. And that's not to say that you can't remember people and deeper. But for the sake of this and just breaking this down, why I'm sharing this is, my biggest thing for this episode for you is to just start getting into that mode of, what am I waiting for? How much longer? What am I going to keep choosing that I'm avoiding changing? What am I going to keep blaming? Am I going to keep repeating these same habits? What's going to shift? The world's changing. The way we do money is changing. The way health is going to be changing. Every part of this world is changing faster now than it has in the last probably 100 years. It took a long time to get to this point of how low we've gotten. But it doesn't mean it's going to take that much longer to come out of it better. And so for me, this really all started after I graduated Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. It was a college, played Division I basketball, and I thought my career was over. Basketball was done. So I had to go from sneakers and shorts to slacks and tie. Showed up at a job that I got because I met a lady at a baseball game whose brother owned a company and that they were hiring and looking for people for a certain position in marketing. I had a marketing degree. So I said, yeah, let's do it. $35,000 salary out of college? What? Jackpot. That was my mindset, right? Jackpot. Oh my gosh, I got a job. My first interview was as a hit. They loved me because I'm an athlete. I'm disciplined, that work ethic. $35K a year. I've never made that much money in my life. And so what happened was I started showing up for work. I would sit in the desk. I would probably spend 3 hours a day just looking at charts and graphs and copy and pasting Excel sheets and literally UCC codes and territory managers and just all sorts of things. And every day I felt accomplished. I felt good. It's like, all right, I'm making a change. I'm contributing. I'm getting my things done. I was still in that athlete mentality. Just tell me what to do. Tell me what to do. What do I do today? What do I do? Coach, tell me. Days go by. It's fun. Weeks go by. I'm like, okay, I got a routine. Months go by and I'm like, yeah, I got my flow. Friday, I've got coworkers, happy hour we do. I know a buddy that works down the street. I go get lunch with him. It's just cool. About 10 months in, I woke up one day and I was like, I don't want to go to work. I'm kind of over this. It's the same thing I did last Monday. And it's the same thing I did in December. And when I started back in September, it's the exact same thing. And it literally took me months to just reflect and realize, is this going to be the same for years and years? How much longer do I have to do this? And it dawned upon me that I was not meant to be an employee. I was not meant to be sitting in a box, being told what to do, how to live my life. And the only way I get paid is if I give up my time. Not as good as work. I could have the best work in the office, the best Excel sheets, all the things. It doesn't change my pay. The boss might be like, hey, good stuff, by the way. That doesn't change anything. And so I had to realize that I was living a life that others wanted for me. I was living a life that society and programs and the narrative of the way the world works, of graduating from a good college, getting a degree and going to get a job. And I just thought that was the only way. And it's that way or no way. Until I lived it, until I actually experienced it, until I realized I was tired of waking up at the same time every day, tired of going to bed at the same time, eating the same lunch every day, seeing the same people every day in the same elevator, the same parking lot, same parking spot, the same check-in badge, the same Excel sheet, the same desktop. I was like, there's no way. I could not do this for 40 years. You could pay me millions of dollars and I don't think I'd do it. Because it's just my time is so precious. My energy is so valuable. My intellectual property, IP, is so precious. And it was just starting to hit me at this moment. I was just out of college. It's like 23 years old. And so I decided to leave. I left the E quadrant, the employee quadrant, because I knew that no matter what, I could be fired at any time. No matter what I did, it wasn't going to equate to a giant double pay. All of a sudden, my salary wouldn't go 100K the next day. I would have to spend years there just to get a raise. And I'm not saying that every job is like this. And I'm not saying that what you're doing right now is the same. This is just my perspective. This is my experience. Right? I didn't leave and go apply for a new job. I didn't leave and all of a sudden find a new place to work. I left and said, I'm never going to do that again. I have no clue what I'm going to do. I have no clue how I'm going to make money. I have no clue what job or what industry I want to work in. And I had no clue what I was going to do next. And the only thing I still had was basketball. And that's where I fell back to. And so I went and played basketball in Mexico, played professionally there, was staying in shape. I got an opportunity to play with one of my teammates, Dylan, from college, and we played in Mexico for a year. And that was an eye-opening experience. And that made me realize that pro sports isn't for me either. So fast forward, long story short, I come back. I was very sick. I had colitis, acid reflux. My health was a mess. I had overcome that with certain water that I changed, and that's for another episode. Planting a seed. Change your water, change your life. But I feel when I came home, that's when the door started to open for me of, all right, what am I going to do? I was 25, 26 years old at the time. I really didn't have much on my resume. I didn't know what to do next. So I just started to trial and error things. I literally, from the lady that helped me get my first job, I said, hey, do you have any other things open? I don't want to go to an office. She's like, well, you can work remote. I'm like, well, what can I do? Dental insurance. Lo and behold, I'm wearing headphones. I've got a list and I'm calling people. I'm calling 70-year-old ladies, telling them and asking them, hey, do they need insurance for any of their dental work? That was a phase. That didn't work. I became a recruiter. So I was recruiting people to go work for jobs that I really didn't like to do. And energetically, sounded like amazing money. I think I helped one guy, which gave me some commission, but I was like, this is boring. I don't think this is for me either. Tried that. Next thing I tried to do a startup app. So we went in the tech space. A friend of mine offered me opportunity. I said, sure, let's do it. He asked if I wanted to invest. I did. Put way too much than I needed to because my mind was, all right, I'm just going to give them money and they'll give me back more. That was how I thought investing worked. And to an extent, yeah, you put money in, you get a return, but I never got that money back. And in fact, the people that I partnered with all disappeared with my money and I was scammed. So I learned the hard way in that. And then I was looking into commercial real estate. My father had a friend in the industry who's been there for 20 years. He said, Chris, I'll teach you everything you know. It'll take you a couple of years to get it down, and then we can sell your first property. I'm like, a couple of years just to sell a property? I can't start now? Remember, this is my linear mindset of a left brain person. Like, why can't I just start now? I have to wait that long? It's like, well, yeah, you got to be trained. You got to get your license. These transactions would happen overnight. So I'm like, okay, I don't know if I want to do that. And then I became a coach. I was a high school coach, and I was a camp counselor, and I was doing private one-on-one basketball lessons. And while that was fun, man, I got burnt out of the gym. Because every time, every week, and every month went by, after I got paid, living in California, I would have to spend all that money into living expenses, utilities, food, and then spending it on things that didn't give me a return. Poor decisions. It's like, what now? What's left? So I left the employee quadrant, and then I became self-employed, and then I became a personal trainer. And this is where things started to change a little bit, because I love fitness. I love being in shape. I'm already working out every day. I have this coaching DNA in me from my father. I'm pretty organized, right? I know Excel sheets, so I can make plans. So it's like personal trainer, like took all the things I trialed and errored, and then it kind of gave me a place to put that all together and do something. And I loved it. I made an impact. I was helping people. I had great clients, athletes, pro athletes, college athletes. I had a private gym right in Orange County. I manifested from a friend of mine, the training habit, which was incredible. And that was amazing. And I did that for a few years. I had thousands and thousands of sessions. And I would do in-home training where I would travel and I would go to Newport Beach homes and these higher-end clients, and they would be paying me more. I'm like, wow, I never made this in weeks at my first job. Oh my gosh, this is more than I made coaching a team in basketball in high school. Like, okay, this is lucrative. Maybe I can make this bigger. Maybe I can make a whole Cobb Fit brand. And I created the Cobb Fit. My father got me a jacket for Christmas. It says Cobb Fit. Come out better fitness. Come out stronger. And so that was amazing. But what happened is the self-employed wasn't for me either. Because I was still trading time for money. I still had to get to my gym at 6 a.m. Some clients wanted to work out at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m. on a Saturday. So that cut my Friday fun. Remember, I was a mid-20-year-old in Orange County, Newport Beach. It's a lot of fun times you can do at night. And I would have to be there. I'd be there all day. Some people would cancel on me, but I was so nice. I wouldn't care. I would kind of take advantage of at times, and I would move things around. But at the end of the day, I loved it. I loved helping athletes. I loved seeing people transform and change. But I also knew that there's got to be more, right? There's got to be more. And at the time, I was drinking this type of water I told you after Mexico, which my health started to transform tremendously. And if you should see before and after photos of me, my health, my fitness. So why do I bring all this up is because it got to a point where I finally connected the dot. This is where it's all leading up to. I look back on everything that I've done, all the things that I've tried, all the jobs, all the occupations, all the applications, all the swings and misses, the things that I don't like, burnt out, not curious, this is boring. Nothing just really stuck. Personal training got the closest. But it wasn't just personal training, because then I realized what my purpose was. It was being a coach and it was being a trainer, but it was for life. It was for mental health. It was for financial literacy. It was for cryptocurrency. It was for social media. It was for influence. It's for being a business owner and leading other teams. It's to learn and work with other people, just like I did with my teammates in high school and college. There is these skills in me that probably you listening right now, you have within you that you just never realized you had. And once you realize you have these different skills, the next question is, where can you apply them? And then the follow-up question is, wherever you apply them, how can you get compensated for it? Because let's face it, we live in a world where this is needed by everybody. I don't care who you are. Money is a value to everybody. You got to pay rent, got to pay your bills, got to pay utilities, got insurance, got premiums, got food, miscellaneous, kids, travel, expenses, taxes, you name it. We need this in this world that we live in. And so it became a value to me. But before, it wasn't. I didn't value money. I didn't value my time. I didn't value boundaries. I didn't value expectations. I didn't value stereotypes. I didn't value all these different things that now are very, very important to me in the way I live my life. And so I had to realize that I had a lot of limiting beliefs back then, that money wasn't enough. I can't get it. As soon as I got money, I would lose it. As soon as I got it, I would spend it. It's a common one, right? You get your paycheck after 2 weeks, spend it all, whether it's a night out with the friends, shopping for Christmas, going out on a weekend, spending a nice restaurant, and all of a sudden like, oh, 2 weeks manifested into paper with numbers on it is gone. Can you imagine? It wasn't money that was gone. It was 2 weeks of your life you'll never get back. And it was like, wow, I'm in this gym a lot. Wow, I'm really spending a lot of time working, but I look at my bank account and nothing's changing. Am I going crazy? Like, what's going on here? And so I had to then realize that there's another quadrant I had not tapped into, and that was being a business owner. And that's why this book, The Business of the 21st Century, changed a lot in the way I see the world. Because here's the thing, nobody's going to come and save you, right? The economy's out of your control. You cannot control what other people do, think, or say, what they put on the TV or the media. Like every day we have a choice to make. You can get closer to heaven on earth for yourself or farther from heaven on earth to yourself. And what is heaven on earth? That's up to you. That's up to you to decide what that is. For me, plain and simple, I really wanted to live a life that I could do what I want, when I want, however I want, with whoever I want, anytime I want, without money being in the way. If I wanted to go fishing, I could. If I wanted to go snowboarding, I could. If I wanted to go golf right now, I could stop this podcast, grab my clubs, and go. If I wanted to go travel, no problem. I got plenty of money, plenty of credit card, no problem. If I had an emergency, car broke down, $1,000 to fix it. Easy, no problem. What else? Can you imagine the peace, the foundation, the confidence, the clarity, the inner stillness, the safety, the security, the foundation that one can have living a life that way? And so I started to realize that the only way I'm going to get there, it's not going to be trading my time for money. It's not going to be sitting at a desk in a high rise working for someone else. It's not going to be self-employed where I still have some freedom, yet I still have to trade my time. I've got to start something. I've got to really tap into my creative side. I really got to put my foot down on something that can be astronomically lucrative in far as a cash flow, time freedom, being able to do what I want when I want. And that's when I decided I'm going to be a business owner. And a business owner was not opening up a gym myself. It wasn't investing $100K into a warehouse or going into a debt or going to a bank to get a loan to put myself 8 years back, right? Where they say the average person to build a business, it's like 40 to 80K, usually in debt you go. And just to break even, it takes like 3 to 5 years. I was like, okay, time is still working against me. I don't want time to work against me. What can I do now? What's the cheapest thing I can start? What's the simplest thing I can begin? What doesn't take 4 to 5 years just to break even and could happen maybe in a few months or a few weeks? And there's no guarantee when you're in business. There's things that are out of control. The market fluctuates. There's all sorts of issues with inventory and shipping and products and marketing because it's either a product or a service. You start a business, you either get a product or a service. Personal training was a service. But I really didn't have a solid business because a solid business means if I were to go travel or leave for a month, I would have other clients working with other trainers I teach. You see what I'm saying? It's like a real estate broker and a real estate agent. I didn't have that. I was just Chris. If Chris left for a month, I don't get paid for a month. I had no automation. I had no external revenue. I had no income streams. I had no reoccurring residual income from other offerings and services and goods I was providing to the market. I had no clue what any of that was. No clue. No clue where to start, how to start. Because I had to realize that my time is the most important thing. And in order for me to be a business owner, some things up here have to change. I have got to get out of my own way. I've got to surrender and say, I don't know what I'm doing. I've got to be open to possibilities and help. I've got to be open to mentorship. I've got to put my ego aside and be curious. I've got to get myself out of my own way because obviously doing it the way I thought was the best way was causing more frustration. I had to tap more back into my faith. I had to start getting real with my expectations. I had to start getting serious about setting goals and also seeing a vision. I didn't see it past Friday. I didn't know how to see past Monday or past November or December. I couldn't see a year in the future, 2 years. I didn't even know what the heck was going to happen that night. And so my vision was so small. I was so zoomed in and focused on my life and all the things that weren't working. I forget to zoom out and see all the bigger pictures. So that's why I say today, when in doubt, zoom out, because I wish I knew that growing up. And so when you zoom out and see a bigger picture, and you realize that by starting a business, you can actually build a system, you can have leverage, you can create cash flow multiple different ways, you can work with somebody else, you can build a team. It can still grow when you're not working it. Maybe it grows, makes money overnight. Maybe you're getting paid leverage or residual income, all types of different incomes. And then from there, I was like, well, maybe I could invest in my first stock. Can you imagine? I was 26. It's like, hey, I just made an extra couple $1,000. What can I invest in, right? Because everyone says invest your money in the stock market. That was it. It wasn't crypto yet. So what did I invest in? I put a couple $100 in Tesla. It's like, oh, my logic, electric cars. Nobody has an electric car, but Tesla seems to be the only one on the forefront. So this will probably be a big company. So I put money in it and it grew. And I was like, oh my gosh, is this real? I was 27, 28 years old. I was like, is this real? I had to refresh. I was like, this money is more than what I put in? How does this work? And that was my first taste at investing. Now, granted, I don't have Tesla anymore. Probably regret that. But I also have a different investment now with crypto and precious metals. So it's been a journey. It was never just show up and be a 7-figure earner. I generate over $1 million. I have hundreds of thousands of dollars coming to me residually. I've built teams of hundreds. I've helped 10, 20, 30 people make 5, 6, 7 figures. I've helped a lot of people make an extra $100 a month. I've helped tons of people pay off their debts. I've helped tons of people get off medications. I've helped tons of people create extra cash flow, extra income to supplement their current employee job, to then invest. And those investments are now giving them extramountable, I don't even know if I made up that word, extramountable, exuberant amounts of wealth. And I was like, man, I look back and I was like, I don't want everyone to have to go through that journey. How can I help people come out wealthier? How can I save someone 10 years to see if they're open to learning how to do it in 10 months? Because it's possible. You know, once you do something and you look back, you're like, wow, I could have done that half the time if I knew X, Y, and Z. And that's what I want to share with you. And that's why I share what I share. I didn't just wake up one day and say, oh, invest in this, or, oh, build a high ticket direct sales business. No, it was a whole process of becoming an entrepreneur. It was a whole process of losing money, being scammed, not being lit up, getting burnt out, feeling stressed, never seeing $1,000 in your savings, make money and you spend it right away, manipulation, limiting belief, scarcity, victim, blaming, projecting your problems, not taking accountability, creating more problems, talking negative about other things you can't control. It was toxic. It was toxic. And I want to remind this to you because if you're caught in these modes, you do not have to stay there. There is a way out, and there's a way to come out better, to come out smarter, wealthier, wiser. And so I want to shift now and kind of get real with the current state of the world and financially what's actually been happening. And many of you know, and you've heard me share about this a lot, the economy is not on our side right now. And you can blame a president, you can blame legislation, the Fed, you can blame a lot of different things. But as soon as you take accountability and realize that your current financial situation is your fault, my fault, the sooner you can change. Because for every 100 people that are struggling, there's 100 people that are living their dream right now. For every 1,000 people that are paycheck to paycheck, there's 1,000 people that just made more in one day because of opportunities than they did all year. So whatever side of the coin you are on, there is the other side. It's just up to you to realize and decide, do I want to keep flipping and playing chance and hoping something works? Or do I want to literally say, hey, I'm turning the page, I'm flipping this, and I'm only focusing on this? Because if you do that, my gosh, you have so much potential. You have so much opportunity in front of you. And so with the state of our economy and the state of the world, we have to recognize what has been happening with our current financial system. And there's no secret. It's not a conspiracy. It's not a tinfoil hat, red pill type thing. It's the truth that our country, America, has been hijacked by a foreign entity, DC, Washington, DC, which is a foreign national territory. It's not part of America. It's a private corporation, just like the Vatican and London. And basically, they have become prisoners to another entity outside of jurisdiction in the Constitution, which is the Federal Reserve, born from Jekyll Island. The Federal Reserve Act that was created in 1913, which slowly stripped away our purchasing power, slowly took us off the gold standard, slowly made our money worthless over time with printing called inflation, money printing, that slowly manipulates you and me and our banks by fractional reserve banking, meaning they lend out the money we deposit. They don't have it to make money. It's not even a bank, it's a business. Financial system is not designed to make you wealthy. It's designed to take your wealth. And that's an aha moment that I had to have ASAP, especially when being a business owner, because I couldn't fall back on a job. To this day, I can't go finding money. I would have to find ways to create it. I would have to find ways to create solutions to problems, to create services or products or build relationships or get referrals or word of mouth or paid gigs for my time if that was the case. And so what our government has done is printed money into oblivion, where we're $36 trillion in global debt. We're using a debt instrument. There's not even sound money anymore. And you have almost 60 to 70% of people, six-figure income or not, living paycheck to paycheck. People that can't even keep food on the table. There's $1.7 trillion of credit card debt. And interest rates continue to go up. You have capital gains tax, then you have income tax, sales tax, property tax. You have tax just about on everything. And that's why you're looking in your pockets and most people are struggling. Even wealthy people I know, after expenses, after investments, after liabilities, matching with their cash flow, some of them are breaking even. I'm not going to lie to you and say it's super easy for everybody. For some, yeah. For many, no. And so we have to get real and we have to ask ourselves, how long am I going to make this my reality? Because there's a ton of people I talk to. Oh, I'm going to start next year. I'm going to look into this in May 2025. I'm going to wait till this planet is here. I'm going to wait till 2027. Yeah, I got to wait till New Year's. Till Monday. And we have this weird addiction to kicking the can, to kicking the inevitable. Whereas if they, let's say, were to say that a year ago and actually did start and it's been a year, they might be in a whole different world. But it's this weird habit, this weird psychological response of uncertainty, of change, of challenge, of doubt, fear, pessimism, whatever that might be, that the easiest way we can handle that is to simply say, I'm going to wait. I'm going to do it later, maybe another time. I got to think about it. And I get it. Certain decisions require patience. Certain decisions require reflection and consulting and discussion. Yet, at the same time, who out there, maybe it's you, are just ready to do it now? Those are the people that move mountains. Those are the change. Those are the people that make ripples in the world. I do it now. I'm going to do it now. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to open my mind and follow and trust it. I'm going to do it now, because doing it now is way less risky than not doing it and staying where I am. Because I ask people, if nothing changes in your life, you're still fine with living a life like this? And some people will say yes, and I can't help them. I don't want to help them, and I don't know if I want them to be around me. No disrespect. It's just boundaries. And then there's people that realize that if I don't do anything about it now, nothing really is going to change. So what's more riskier? Staying where I am and not changing a thing and keep living the life I've been living? Or make the change, commit to something, learn something, watch something, try something. Worst case, it doesn't work. I'm back where I started. Best case, it works. I'm never living that life again. What is riskier? Jumping in or standing on the side? Because I had to realize that. I had to look at myself one day and be like, all right, I can go all in on this, or I can keep watching. And I decided to go all in. I decided to trust myself. So what happened was, as a personal trainer, in 1 month, building a side business that I'm now going to talk about briefly, building a side business, I was able to help people outside the gym. I was able to help them with their health, with their finances, with their mindset, with their recovery, with their sleep, with their weight loss, cleaning their home, getting rid of chemicals, no more pesticides, less medications, stuff I could never do with dumbbells and a barbell or a treadmill. Never. Stuff I could never do calling someone from a headset, selling them dental insurance. Stuff I could never do crunching Excel sheets on an 11-story floor right out of college. Stuff I could never do playing pro ball. Stuff I could never do being a high school coach. Stuff I could never do being a recruiter or working in app development. None of that stuff was able to leave an impact the way I just said and shared it through someone's health, wealth, bank account, mindset, and the way they live their life. Day in and day out for decades to come. Still today, people are being impacted from the things I did 4 or 5 years ago. That right there got my attention. And because I was problem solving, because I was helping people and sharing my story and showing people information that they did not know existed and reminding them that they can do it and showing them how and giving them options to change, by doing all of those different things, I received compensation. I received money. And I got a check in the mail and I held it up and it had $1,700. I was a certain rank in my business. It took me a while to get there, a couple years, hard work. And I looked at that check. It was the biggest one I'd ever gotten. And I reflected and I said, it would take me almost a month of being in this gym, 6 a.m. maybe to 6 p.m., 4 to 5 days a week, just that month, just to make what I just made in one check. Now, is that going to happen for you? No guarantee. Maybe it's $300 that makes you change this. Maybe it's $1,000. Maybe it's 10 grand you need to see. For me, it was 1,700 because I could correlate it to what I was actually already doing. So maybe for you, it's a couple $100 and you just saw your groceries paid for the whole month. And you didn't even have to dip into your salary. You didn't even have to dip into your savings. You didn't even have to dip into your credit card because your side business, part-time or full-time, was able to pay for these expenses that your salary doesn't have to cover anymore. So what can your salary give you? Capital, liquidity to invest in assets that make money for you. The goal is not to make this. The Federal Reserve does. The goal is to find ways to accumulate the dollars out there floating, physically or digitally, take that, and then go ahead and put that into something where now this piece of paper is your employee. Instead of you being the employee working for this piece of paper, the mind has to go, I'm the boss now. Federal Reserve, Mr. Inflation. I'm driving my ship now. I'm in control of my life now, no longer waiting for someone to save me, no longer hoping and waiting for someone to bail me out or donate to me. I am the boss, and you, Mr. George Washington on a piece of paper that smells like poop, you are my employee. I should draw a little tie right here, a little tie and a little suitcase, okay, little legs, because he's going to work. And I put him to work. I put him to work in business. I put him to work in digital assets. I put him to work in hiring a team, hiring my own employees and helping them out. There are so many different ways that we can start looking at the world. And the reason I was able to do this was because I started a high ticket, direct sale, product-based business. And the product was something that virtually replaces 50 to 100 things in someone's home. It'll last you decades to come. It has 100 different uses. It'll help you live a more holistic life with less pesticides, chemicals, microplastics, inflammation, medications, cleaning products, toxic beauty products, and all sorts of other things. And it's something that will boost your health, improve your overall wellness, save you money now and long term, and potentially reduce your tax bill, and has the option for free to generate wealth and income from. Talk about amazing business, right? There is nothing else out there like it. I have never seen it. No one's ever presented it to me. And I would be more than open to going on your page, your live, your podcast, and having not an argument, but a discussion on why what I have found and what I have done is the best opportunity out there where everyone has a chance to do it. Not everyone's going to be a brain surgeon, an astronaut. Not everyone's going to start up companies or apps. Not everyone's going to develop the new breakthrough or the new AI software. Not everyone's going to be an NBA athlete or a pro athlete or a celebrity. We're all just pretty basic everyday people. I'm no different than you. And the fact that we can all do this and we all have a level playing field shot at doing this type of business, this home-based business that is emphasized literally in one of the best books you can read, talking about why home-based business entrepreneurs will be among the richest in our new economy. Did you guys know that taxes are meant for home-based business owners and entrepreneurs and business owners? They're not meant for employees. Do you guys know that? Ask your CPA. The tax code is meant for entrepreneurs and business owners. It's not meant for an employee. Employees get screwed the most on the tax code. That's why your income tax is so much. And every month you get your paycheck and, $400 tax. What about tax write-offs, deductions, writing off certain expenses, travel? It's crazy how much we were never taught. And I was never taught this. My dad didn't mention it much. My mother didn't mention it much. They were never taught this. You would have to go to a prestigious business school to learn how to start your own company. But their company is a warehouse. You got to go get a bank loan. You got to go into debt, work for 10 years and have no life just to break even. Some people can do this in a few weeks. You can break even. Just depends how hard you work. Just depends how often you show up. Depends how much you share. And so direct sales is an amazing opportunity because there is no demographic requirement. Doesn't matter what race you are, religion you are, ethnicity, background, doesn't matter where you live or your income. You don't have to send in a resume. You don't have to do any of this stuff. You simply fill out what's called a W-9 to be an independent contractor compared to a W-2, which is an employee. So the W-9, you're on that other quadrant, right? You're now on that cash flow quadrant in that business owner. And now you have more flexibility and freedom. You can build your business the way you want. You can build it part-time or full-time. You can build your business online or offline. You can just have low startup costs up front. You can partner with a company that does all the heavy lifting for you, all the shipping, inventory, accounting, payroll, service, maintenance, customer service, analytics, website, manufacturing. This company we work with, they do it all. All I have to do is tell people about this. And if people hear it, learn it, understand it, and get educated, and they're like, I want this, they get it, I get compensated one time, and that's it. And if they go out and tell people, I get compensated again, and again, and again, and again, until eventually I get cut out because that's the way the business model works. Direct sales is peer-to-peer. It is a business for we the people. A lot of people are aware of network marketing. A lot of people are aware of residual or affiliate marketing, where companies are now going away from corporate media, corporate education, corporate mainstream commercials and advertising, and they're going to the people. That's why you'll see me post about something with the link Cobb 11 to purchase, or you'll see another person, say, hey, use my discount code, save 15 for a discount, because they're doing referral-based products. They're getting paid a small percentage of the product purchased by the market. So you have a manufacturer, you have the market, and the only way the manufactured product, for example, can get to the market is if the person, you and me, everyday people, are the middlemen, which are the marketers. We just tell you about it. They don't follow typical media, mainstream media commercial advertisement. Why? Do you know how much it costs to run a commercial? You know how much it costs to run typical billboards or try to get a celebrity to endorse your company or product? Money beyond I don't have that money. You don't have that money. But what do we have? We have social media. We have phone calls. We have Zooms. We have podcasts. We have technology. We have information. We have newsletters. We have blogs. We have websites. We have emails. We have text. We have coffee meetups. We have church groups. We have masterminds. We have seminars and retreat. We have everything right at our fingertips, almost for free. I didn't pay anything from Instagram. Instagram has helped me make over $1 million of income. I paid nothing for Instagram. I don't even spend money on ads. Everything organic. You tell me, where else could I spend nothing and use something to generate that much wealth? Nothing comes close. And that's why direct sales network marketing is by the people for the people. It's a people-based economy. Trump is big on it. Robert Kiyosaki talks about it in the business of the 21st century. These guys know what they're doing. And they want more and more people to take advantage of it because it's a level playing field. Anybody can do it. There's no requirements. You're not going to get resume. You're not going to get an interview of saying, hey, you're good enough or not. You might have no skills in sales and marketing and can still do amazing. And so you have to look at it from a bigger perspective. Now, are there negatives? Of course. There's a lot of sketchy companies. There's a lot of sketchy products. There's a lot of sketchy comp plans that aren't sustainable. The leadership is not in integrity. The products are full of toxins. The service is bogus and doesn't work. There are absolutely negatives. There are always going to be those bad apples in the bunch, but don't let one bad apple make every apple bad. Too many times people pray, manifest, and call in an opportunity. God gives it to them. And then as soon as God gives it to them, they say, oh, this is a scam. And it's like, what? You're just praying for God, please help me during these financial times. And here I am coming up and say, hey, have you ever thought about starting your own home-based business? Oh, that's a pyramid scheme. That's a scam. Come on, man. I'm not interested. And then you go back home and you start praying again. God, can you just help me out of this debt? And then I follow up and say, are you sure? Like, I hear you, but I mean, if you want to watch a video, this is way different. I totally get what you're saying, though. I'm sorry you've ever had a bad experience. And then I say, no, maybe I'll think about it. No, hit me up next year, maybe. And then you go back home and you pray again. And it's this weird cycle that we ask for things, we pray for things, we manifest, and then we receive them, but then we resist them. And it's like this, I want that. No, I don't want it. But give it to me, but no. But I can wait, take it back. Change my mind. It's exhausting because I went through it myself. And so direct sales is incredible because it's a simple business model. There are millions. It's one of the biggest industries. You can go to the directsalesassociation.org. You can learn all about it. Factual stuff. They monitor pyramid schemes. So I don't get involved in those. Those are not ethical. I would never recommend anything like that. But what's so cool about network marketing and direct sales is that it's peer-to-peer, powered by the people, and it's powered by word of mouth, meaning that I'm told something, I invest in it, it works for me, I'm going to tell you. Now, the next layer is low ticket and high ticket. And this is what's really cool because a lot of these companies, a lot of these businesses and opportunities and products are low ticket. They're $100, $50, $20, maybe a bundle for $500. The business I'm in, the lowest product is like a couple grand. The highest package is you're getting closer to $10,000 just to start your business. You're like, oh, that's a lot of money. It sure is. But again, go back to the beginning of this episode. What's more risky? Not doing anything and staying in the same place you are financially, or knowing what an actual investment is, what a business opportunity provides, the vision that you can have, the limiting beliefs you're overcoming, looking at what is possible instead of what won't work, seeing the results, asking about the product, asking about the company, learning about the comp plan, learning about the system and the trainings and the development. And if you have 30 check marks and 2 that are not checked, and you go, oh, it's not for me because of those 2 things, that's tough. That's like getting a brand new car you invested. Yeah, it might have a little dent you never saw, but no one's ever going to see it. But are you going to throw the car away? Are you going to give up on driving it? Of course not. If anything, fix the dent. Get the answer. Get the truth. Get out the concern. And so high ticket is amazing is because let's say you did a low ticket business, for example, and you're sharing products that were $50 and you went out and shared with 100 people and you worked your butt off for months. $50 times 100, do the math, 5,000, take the compensation, blah, blah, blah. It's like maybe $1,000 or so, $1,000 or $2,000. Amazing. Don't get me wrong. Amazing, amazing, amazing. But because it's a low ticket, it's going to be lower commission. And you're going to do the same amount of work as a high ticket. Again, high ticket, let's say you've helped 100 people, not even 1,000, 100 people buy your high ticket product. You just made almost $100,000. You still drove the same amount of distance. You talked to less people, maybe let's say 200, not 1,000. Instead of selling $1,000 or 1,000 people $50 product, let's say now you're going to sell 50 people a $5,000 product. And let's say half buy, 20 of them buy. You're generating $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 part-time because higher ticket, higher commission, and you're working the same amount. Just really grasp that. Low ticket, low commission, you work 100 hours. High ticket, high commission, you work at 100 hours. Let's say you had 80% more transactions than the high ticket, but all those transactions equate to a lower income with 80% less transactions on a higher ticket because you got higher income. When I realized this, I was like, oh my gosh, high ticket direct sales is the way to go to build a business. Because again, I don't have to start a company. I don't have to get incorporated. I don't have to do accounting. I don't have to do payroll. I don't have to make the products. I don't have to ship them. I don't have to handle corporate and legalities. I don't have to handle any, conflict and resolution with branches and headquarters in 40 countries. The company does all that. I literally just have to tell people about this and share with them and let them know how to get one. And if they want one, great. And I get comped and I can get paid anywhere from $300 to as much as $3,000 per transaction. No brainer. And why do I say all this? Is because doing this high ticket business through a holistic health product that less than 3% of the world owns out of 8 billion people, and the company's been around for 50 years, privately owned out of Japan, a medical grade manufacturing device company that pays 70% of their commission profits to the distributors that share the product, no one else. No ads, no agencies, no celebrities, no endorsements, no commercials. They said, forget all of that. We're going to funnel back millions and millions and millions of dollars to the people that love our product and the people that tell others about our product, because that's the future of the world, is we the people. And when that clicked for me, that was it. I didn't look back. Years go by. I'm helping hundreds of people. I'm showing up every day. I've got nothing to lose. I have a vision. I have a goal. I have a system. We've built a community. We have trainings. We have platforms, webinars, master classes. You guys have seen it. If you've been following me for years, you've been watching, you've been wanting to be a part of it. And not only do that, not only do people make incredible income, they become better people. And this is the whole part of entrepreneurship. That's why most people don't like it. It's not because it takes a lot of work. It requires you to be a different person. It requires you to be a different human. It requires you to have different thoughts, different habits, different lifestyles, probably different friends, probably different inner circles. It's going to stretch you. It's going to challenge you. It is the greatest thing that I believe every child should learn in school, if we were to redo our education system, is how to be self-sufficient, how to be an entrepreneur, how to market something, how to promote something, how to connect with people, how to talk, how to negotiate, how to listen, how to invite, how to follow up. All of these little skills, right, to help people or to do sales and marketing, they're nothing more than reflections of the inner world and inner development. And that's what's so cool about what we do. Because at the end of the day, as you become a better human, you build your business, you're going to have more cash flow. And you can do the internet, social media. All right, there's a tech gap. Paul Pilsner says there is a gap happening, generational gap, where people are like, social media is too much, online automation too much, Zoom too much, AI, crypto too much. The people that are in that world, it's going to get harder and harder and harder and harder and harder for them. I'm sorry. I love you. Unless you live off grid or you're a farmer or you have nothing to do with anything technology or digital wise, which is where the world is going, whether you like it or not, unless you live in that life, God bless you. I want to come visit your land. Invite me, please. But for most of us, we have a phone. We have a laptop. We're on Zoom. We're on social media. We're on Netflix. We're watching TV. We're on YouTube. We're on TikTok. It's just what we're doing. So why aren't you taking advantage of that? Just from your thumbs, you can reach people that would take hours, days to travel to. Why aren't you taking advantage of that? Social media is the biggest opportunity you've ever had. There are people that are less qualified, less skilled, younger, probably, no offense, dumber than you, that are making quadruple, triple your income that you're working at a job because they're just learning a few skills of technology. 90% or more of my business has been through social media. Can you imagine? And you're like, well, Chris, I don't know what to do. We do, and we teach it. And that's the other part of this whole thing, is you're not alone. Entrepreneurship, I think, gets a bad rap because people assume you have to be by yourself. People assume that you have to do it all alone, right? Hustle and grind, solo, YOLO, my way or the highway. Don't ask for help. Head down and work. No. You want to go fast? You could do that. You want to go far? You got to do it with people. It's a whole saying. Your ability to work with a team, your ability to be vulnerable, your ability to heal your community wounds and your brother and sister wounds, your ability to be coachable will unlock more doors and opportunities to you than just locking yourself in a room and reading all day. Are there people who can do that? Absolutely. You know who you are. Are there people who can isolate themselves from humanity, put their head down and just create? 100% there are. Are there many? Probably not. So for most of us, we thrive when we're seen and heard. We thrive when people recognize us. We thrive when we make change. We thrive when people appreciate us. We thrive when people give us feedback. When we thrive when we know we're making a difference. But you can't do that when you're by yourself. You can't do that just at a 9 to 5 with the same people, the same office, the same coworkers, the same computer, and the same water cooler. It's hard to do that. You can't just do that as a self-employed person. You've got to start looking at ways to now take your life back. And that's why the next millionaires, billionaires of the future are going to be those that are in network marketing, direct sales, peer-to-peer, people-to-people, content creators, social media, brands, influencers, affiliate marketers, dot connectors, truthers, and people that are focused on health and wellness, detox, helping the environment, sustainability, and something that grows long-term, leaving a legacy. And so I leave you with this. If any of this struck a chord, if any of this resonated, or if any of this just kind of lit you up inside where you're like, I'm done with what I'm doing. Like I'm ready for change. I'm tired of living the same old mundane life. Nothing's going to give. I'm going to have to be at this job for 40 years to just retire. I have no other options. I'm slim and none. I feel stretched, burnt out, or overwhelmed. Or you're someone that's like, yeah, I got skills. I got to do something with them. Yeah, I'm all about this. I just don't know what to start. Yeah, you don't got to tell me twice. I am very coachable. Like, tell me what to do and I will do it. Like, yeah, I'm independent, but I'm also good at working with people. I just need to know a product and a service to share. And I can go on and on. If you're any of these people, here's my offer to you. I want you to reach out to me. I want you to either DM me on Come Out Better. You can email me at support@comeoutbetter.com. You can text me if you have my number, or comment to this. Somehow find a way to get a hold of me and just tell me that you're ready to change. And I will teach you, I will coach you, I will mentor you for free. Once you start your business, you invest in your high ticket product, however you want to start. I will teach you, I will show you, we will plug you into our system. We will get you on my team calls, our coaching calls, our seminars. We'll give you all our resources, our training platforms, our recorded videos. We will teach you just about everything. Not only are you going to have success or generate wealth, you're going to be a better person. You're going to come out better. So you got to reach out and let me know you're ready. If this is not something for you, that's okay. All I can ask is that you share this with someone. All I ask is that you can sit with this, think about this, and come back to it, maybe listen to it again, because we're all on our own journey. We're all on our own path. And truly, at the end of the day, when you're in doubt, you just got to zoom out. There's a brighter future for you. You just got to be able to connect some dots, ask some questions, sit with those feelings of uncomfortability, lean into the unknown, and realize truly that no matter what, at the end of the day, for you, the best is yet to come. I pray this helps. We'll see you on the next episode.